Welcome to Fewer Things Better. This is the place for all of us who are big on goals and short on time. Together, we'll explore smart, simple ideas on how to retrain your brain and unlock your life. I'm your host, Kristen Graham. Let's get started. Our brains do a lot of heavy lifting every single day. And during change, whether it's changes of seasons, changes of year, or just changes in general, it's common to feel more overwhelmed than usual. So today's episode revisits one of our early episodes, number 10 from October 2024. This offered a few simple ideas on how to reset when things start feeling stuck. So let's get into it. Our brain is one of the hungriest parts of our body. It consumes approximately 20% of all of our energy each day. So all of that thinking and doing and overthinking and overdoing draws down on those energy reserves. Our brain is made up of approximately 86 billion neurons, give or take a billion. These neurons are how our brain deploys its plan. Messages travel through our cells as they receive sensory input from the world, and it sends motor commands to our muscles. It relays electrical signals at every step in between. But like any supercomputer, our brains can get overheated and overwhelmed. The bottom line on top of this episode is that when our mental keys seem to get stuck, try a little tenderness. A quote I have shared a lot is from writer Anne Lamott, and it says this: "Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, even you." Episode 10 first outlined the impact of the thousands of decisions we process each day. Decision fatigue is the term for the deteriorating quality of decisions we make after an extended period of choosing and weighing and evaluating and overthinking. Sometimes that can happen in the course of a day, sometimes a week, or sometimes in just a matter of minutes. Have you ever been in a meeting where you're much more likely to just agree with what's being said because you no longer have the desire or discipline to continue caring? Or you find yourself halfway down a grocery store aisle when your brain suddenly stops taking messages altogether and cannot function, must go home. Decision fatigue is not just a feeling. It has a direct connection to brain function. When your brain sends up a white flag, it's trying to signal to you that you are entering a deeper fatigue phase. And when you are depleted, you are far more likely to be impulsive or passive or avoidant or just influenced by others. So what can you do when you feel that brain drain happening in the moment? We're going to look at a few options that can help redirect you when you hit a cognitive or energetic roadblock. The first is ridiculously small steps. This approach focuses on breaking down what is in front of you into tiny, tangible actions. The more micro, the better. Look for a step that sounds almost too easy, like put on your right shoe. That's what makes it ridiculous. Open the document. Look up the number. Put away one dish. Fold just one piece of laundry. Momentum here doesn't require that you complete it. It just asks for initiation. Second option is to borrow energy. This is often called body doubling or parallel work. It's the practice of doing a task in the presence of someone else. That can be in person or virtually, and very little interaction is even needed. Research suggests this works because of social facilitation. and the dopamine reward pathways in our brain. We tend to extend our effort or revitalize it when others are nearby. I experienced this about a year ago when I was packing up my house to move. I was so done with it, but then a friend of mine was in the same room. She was working on something completely different. And just her presence alone boosted my motivation to keep going. I've done this a lot with virtual groups where we just meet, work quietly, and then simply share some internet space. A third option is mental multiple choice. When you are tired, hungry, or overwhelmed, switch your brain from asking all those open-ended decisions to more of a this or that model. Hey, do I want this or that? Even if your response is, I don't want either of those, that's good. You can then ask further to choose between another option instead of 20 options. Now, the key is to stop asking your brain before it becomes overwhelmed all over again. But your instinct will kick in. So do you want an apple or a banana? Neither. Okay, then would you like an orange? Now we're getting closer. And not every one of these tools is going to work every time. It's more about your brain having a few options within reach that can help when you start to feel the burn of indecision and inaction. And a bonus boost is always sleep. And sleep isn't always available to us, but research shows that pushing through the fatigue will come at a real cognitive cost later. So if you ever have a chance to nap on it, rest on it, sleep on it, do so not to avoid it, but to reset yourself. And it can make a meaningful difference in the decisions that you make. And since I first recorded this episode, I spent even more time exploring the difference between sleep and fatigue and why rest doesn't always look or feel the same for everyone. So if you're feeling that topic, see the show notes for a link to that episode. Otherwise, to recap, break actions into ridiculously small steps. Borrow energy when you can. Narrow down some decisions and prioritize your rest. And when in doubt, try unplugging you for just a few minutes too. Just might work. For more Fewer Things Better, find us over on YouTube or join our newsletter at unlockthebrain.com/newsletter. See you next time.